Okay, so now we're going to move on to the income statement. On this side, I like to work on to do my income statement, I like to have my exercise. I like to have access to it. So I just want to be able to look at the exercise spreadsheet. And over here, I'll start my income statement. So the income statement, Nicholas, always starts with the business name. So let's bring that over. J Knight. Identify it as the income statement. And then you need to put in the date row for period ended 30 June 2010 in this case. This A column needs to be quite small. It doesn't need to be too big. And then I'm going to have, like, I'd say 2 money columns. Now this income statement, the layout of it is the same every single time. It always starts with sales. And I won't type it in because I want to use a formula. So let's bring sales in first. And then bring across its amount. Always start with sales. We take away from that our sales returns. If there's no sales returns, you just leave this line out. So bring in sales returns. And then the amount. Every time you perform a function, you should underline the figure. So I'm going to underline sales returns. And then put in the formula, 50,000 minus 1,000. That represents our net sales. Are you right, Nicholas?
I was trying to get it on the thing.
Okay, after you take away sales returns, leave a row blank just to space that out. For those of you having difficulty there, across the back there, I'm happy to stay back in lunch to help you a bit more. So leave a row blank, and we're going to take away, you always take away cost of goods sold. So let's bring in cost of goods sold, and that's an expense. So bring it in with a formula. Copy over the amount, but we don't want it to stay in that row or in that column, sorry. We want to move it under net sales and then underline it. Because when I take cost of goods sold away from my net sales, what do I have? That is called gross profit. And make sure you label it as that. Okay, leave a row blank. After you've determined your gross profit, add to that your other revenues. So bring them across. So if we go to our revenue section, we've handled sales and sales returns, so the next revenue is commission revenue. And there's 3 of them I can see, so I'll bring over the amount for commission revenue and then copy down for the other 2. And just check that you brought them all in. Now I can leave them there because I want to add them up. So I'm going to auto sum them to get my total revenues. Underline your total revenues to then add that to the gross profit. Now we don't call that anything. That's the profit so far after we've added the revenues to our gross profit. Now we take away other expenses. And that's simply a case of bringing in all the expenses. Now with this one here, I'm lucky because my first expense is cost of goods sold. But I've already used that, so I'm not going to bring it in. I'm going to skip down to my next one, which is advertising. But be careful of that. Go down far enough to bring them all in, and my last expense is telephone expense. So I'll get rid of everything I don't need. Underline my last expense. Total them all up. $5,000 is my total expenses. Take that away from my profits so far, and hopefully I'm going to get that $29,000 odd figure. Yep, that looks right, and that's my net profit. So what you've got to be careful of is if cost of goods sold is not the first account like it was here, if it was halfway through your expenses, make sure you go back through your expenses and take it out, because you've already taken it away up here. And that's how you do your income statement.